In today's smart money, things are looking up for many Americans with higher average retirement account balances as a whole. But despite overall signs of growth in retirement account balances, Gen Xers may be facing particular challenges. ABC-7's financial contributor Brian Mirau joins me today. And Brian, despite recent market volatility, according to the latest data from Fidelity Investments, Americans' retirement account balances increased in the second quarter of this year. That marks the third straight period of growth. But what about Gen Xers? They're next in line for their retirement years.
Well, Mark, glad to be here today. While the overall report of retirement savings looks positive, there are other reports about Gen Xers that point to that age group are not nearly ready for retirement in terms of savings. Now, Gen Xers are now in their 40s and their 50s, and they account for about a fifth of the U.S. population. And if you're in those age groups and you are worried about having enough for retirement, now's the time to get serious and figure out how much you're going to need to retire.
Brian, how do you help determine if someone has enough to retire and if they're ready to retire?
Well, Mark, a good rule of thumb is to replace 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income. However, most folks that we visit with don't necessarily want to reduce their standard of living the day they retire. For our clients, we run what we call a retirement analysis, which looks at all of your assets. It looks at your income, your expenses. We also got to look at taxes and inflation.
And speaking of inflation, we've continued to follow the Federal Reserve's actions on raising interest rates. What has the Fed said recently about interest rates?
Well, Mark, this week the Federal Reserve chose to hold interest rates steady. Now, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said it's more likely than not that there's going to be another appropriate to raise interest rates one more time this year. While not increasing interest rates at this point could be a real positive for the markets and the economy, most analysts think that these current interest rates, they're going to last throughout next year.
How do you talk to people about how their investment strategy may change as they get closer to retirement?
Well, Mark, your risk tolerance should start to shift as you near retirement. With interest rates where they currently are, there are many guaranteed investments paying higher fixed rates. And it's worth looking at alternatives other than stocks and bonds. If you're all in the market, one big market downturn could postpone your retirement.
All right, Brian, for people who have done a good job saving, what steps could they take now to preserve their retirement savings?
Well, Mark, everybody's situation is different. We must look at their goals and what their ideal retirement's going to look like. Then what we can do is run a retirement analysis, which can answer those magic questions of, do we have enough and are we well balanced? And Mark, one more thing today. We're also offering a free copy of my book titled Smart Money for the Backside of Life for anybody wanting to set a visit. And in my book, I discuss many different aspects of retirement that folks deal with on the backside of life.
So text the word retire to 915-233-2904 or get your free retirement analysis. And you can also set a visit to receive a copy of Brian's new book, Smart Money for the Backside of Life. Again, 915-233-2904. Text the word retire. You can also visit their website online at mirocapital.com/TV. ABC-7 financial contributor Brian Mirau with Mirau Capital Management. As always, sir, thank you for your time.
Mark, thanks for having me today.